Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. You can attempt the quiz in this app and you can read detailed explanation. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. We have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. Now, let's start. A historic painting created over 17,000 years ago by Aboriginal artists has been identified in which country? So this was identified in Australia. It is a kangaroo painting. As you can see in this picture, this is the kangaroo painting. And this is claimed to be the oldest intact rock art in Australia. Recently, this was found in the Kimberley region of Australia. Now, this Kimberley is also known for Kimberley process. What is Kimberley process? It is related to commitment to remove conflict diamonds. What is the meaning of this term? Conflict diamonds. That means these are the rough diamonds which are used by the rebel groups or by the terrorist organization to finance the conflict. So the objective of this Kimberley process is to remove such diamonds from the global supply chain. Recently, Australia was also in news because it changed national anthem. That means it did certain amendments in its national anthem. Australia was also in news because of media bargaining code. Recently, Australia was also in news because of IFC. What is IFC? It is Information Fusion Center. So this is a fusion center of Indian Navy. This fusion center is in Haryana in Gurugram. Recently, Australia posted liaison officer for this Information Fusion Center of Indian Navy. What is the outlay of the PLI, that is Production Linked Incentive Scheme for pharmaceuticals and for IT hardware sector? So first thing first, what is the meaning of this term? Production linked incentive. That means if you are going to produce more, government will provide you more incentive. So for certain sectors, government had announced these incentives. Again, you need not to remember these figures. Just understand the concept that this PLI scheme is approved to give a boost to our manufacturing capacities so that we can export more and we can attract more investment. So for certain sectors, this scheme has been announced. As of now, these are 10 sectors. So for example, it has been announced for specialty steel. Which is the nodal authority for this? It is Ministry of Steel. For white goods such as AC and LED, DPIIT is the nodal authority. DPIIT is under Commerce Ministry. For high efficiency solar photovoltaic modules, MNRE is the nodal ministry. For food products, Ministry of Food Processing is the nodal ministry. For textile products, it is the Ministry of Textiles. For advanced chemistry cells, batteries, Niti Aayog and Department of Heavy Industries are the nodal authorities. For electronic products, MEITY, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, is the nodal authority. For automobile components, Department of Heavy Industries is the nodal authority, and for pharmaceuticals, it is Department of Pharmaceuticals. For telecom products, it is Department of Telecom. As you can see, the highest allocation is for automobile sector. For pharmaceuticals, it is 15,000 crores, and for IT hardware, the allocation was announced recently. Augmented reality head-mounted display systems which were in use recently are to be acquired by which Indian Armed Forces? So first thing first, what is this ARHMD? That is Augmented Reality Head-Mounted Display. So this display is like this. The soldier, it is some foreign soldier is wearing this display, and with the help of this display, soldier will be able to see the targets even in night because this system is using radar and thermal imaging. So this will improve the combat capabilities of our soldiers, and such ARHMD will be acquired by Indian Army. Recently, Defense Ministry announced this. Now, in the context of defense procurement, we have DAC, that is Defense Acquisition Council. This council is headed by our Defense Minister. Present Defense Minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh. Where is the headquarters of ICOLD, that is International Commission on Large Dams? So the headquarters is in Paris. Paris is in France. What is this ICOLD? It is International Commission on Large Dams, and it is a non-governmental organization which share the knowledge of design, construction and impact of large dams. Why this was in news? Because recently an event was organized, and this event was a symposium on sustainable development of dams and river basins. This was event of ICOLD, and in this event our Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat participated. In fact, he inaugurated it. And this event was organized in collaboration with CWC, that is Central Water Commission, DRIP, that is Dam Rehabilitation and Improvement Project, and NHP, that is National Hydrology Project. Now the CWC is under Jal Shakti Ministry. DRIP, as the name suggests, it is a project for rehabilitation of dams and for their improvement. And for this project, World Bank is providing us financial support. This NHP is a central sector scheme, and this started in 2016, and it is implemented by Jal Shakti Ministry and it is supported by World Bank. So this National Hydrology Project is like a database of our water resources. Now recently, France was also in news because of one more event, and recently Liberty Steels signed an agreement with certain European companies to build first hydrogen-based steel making plant. So this is going to be the first such plant in France. Why it is so significant? Because it is a steel making plant which will be based on hydrogen. Which city is the venue of Maritime India Summit 2021? So this is going to be a virtual summit. Virtual means this summit will be organized online, and this is the key initiative of Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. Prime Minister is going to inaugurate this summit on 2nd of March, and the theme is exploring the potential business opportunities. Now recently this Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways was in news as it was renamed. Previously its name was Ministry of Shipping. Now the new name is Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. In the context of water, please note that water is a state subject, but shipping is a union subject. Actually, in our 7th schedule of Indian Constitution, there are 3 lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. Union list means these are the items on which Parliament can make laws. State list means these are the items on which state government is authorized to make laws. In certain circumstances, even in these items, Parliament can make laws, but those are exceptional circumstances. In the concurrent list, those items are mentioned where both central government or state government have the power to make laws. So the water is mentioned in this state list and shipping is mentioned in this union list. Which country has assumed chairship of BRICS for the 2021? So India is the chair of BRICS for this year. What is BRICS? It is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So this is association of 5 countries. For this year, India is the chair. Recently it was in news because of Sherpa meeting. So what is the meaning of this term Sherpa meeting? Usually before any big event, the agendas and priorities of that particular event are fixed. So this Sherpa meeting was organized to fix the agenda of BRICS meeting. Now BRICS countries set up a bank and it is New Development Bank. Previously it used to be known as BRICS Development Bank. So it is a bank by these 5 countries. The headquarters of this BRICS Development Bank is in Shanghai. It is in China, and the regional office is in Johannesburg. Johannesburg is in South Africa. Presently, the head of this New Development Bank is Marcus Trojo, and Marcus Trojo is from Brazil. Recently, Brazil was in news because of Amazonia 1 satellite. So this satellite was in news as ISRO launched this satellite with the help of PSLV C-51. This is a satellite of Brazil. Now what is PSLV? It is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. In this context, recently a space center was in news and it is Satish Dhawan Space Center. This Satish Dhawan Space Center is in Sriharikota and it is in Andhra Pradesh. Which state has recently announced universal health coverage during its budget with an outlay of 3500 crores. So what is the meaning of this term universal health coverage? It means everyone in the state will be provided health services. Universal means this scheme is for everyone. So recently this was announced by Rajasthan government. Under this scheme, every family will get insurance benefit of 5 lakh rupees. Now there is one more scheme by the government and it is Ayushman Bharat Mahatma Gandhi Rajasthan Swasthya Bima Yojana. So it is a health insurance scheme. Recently Rajasthan was also in news because of M-SAND policy. M stands for manufactured sand. So recently Rajasthan government announced this manufactured sand policy and it gave the status of industry these units which are going to manufacture the sand. So this will be used in construction work, and therefore it will prevent the illegal sand mining. Which regulator in India has formed a committee to relook its information and security guidelines? So, in the times of pandemic, cyber attacks increased exponentially in the financial sector, and therefore IRDAI, that is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, constituted an internal working group to review its information and security guidelines. So IRDAI is the regulator for insurance sector. These are the few regulators which are very important from exam perspective. For telecom sector, regulator is TRAI, that is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. For financial sector, RBI is the regulator. For food safety, FSSAI is the regulator. FSSAI is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. For securities market, SEBI is the regulator. For insurance sector, IRDAI is the regulator, and for pension sector, PFRDA is the regulator. From which date the second phase of COVID vaccination is set to commence in India? So the date is 1st of March 2021. It is going to be the second round of vaccination for COVID-19 vaccine. The target is to provide vaccine to the people who are above 60 and those who are above 45 years with comorbidities. In government hospitals, these vaccines will be provided free of cost. On the other hand, private hospitals will be charging for these vaccines. That means in private hospital, you will have to pay money for this vaccine. Recently, this entire vaccination process was in news as government fixed the upper limit. The upper limit for vaccine has been fixed and it is 250 rupees per person per dose. Private hospitals cannot charge more than this amount. In government hospitals, this is free of cost. Now, for this entire vaccination process, government had launched an app and it is CoWIN, that is COVID Vaccination Intelligence Network. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover important news events. First is Saras Ajivika Mela. So this was a fair and it was organized by Ministry of Rural Development. This was organized at Noida Haat. Noida is in Uttar Pradesh. So different craftsmen from all over the country participated in this Mela to show their regional culture, regional craft and cuisines. Next is IAF, that is Indian Air Force, is going to participate in the 70th anniversary celebrations of Sri Lankan Air Force. And for this purpose, 3 names were in news. One is Surya Kiran, another is Sarang, and third is LCA Tejas. So these will participate in the celebrations of Sri Lankan Air Force. These are the entities of Indian Air Force. So these two, that is Surya Kiran and Sarang, are the aerobic display team of Indian Air Force. LCA stands for Light Combat Aircraft. Next is India gifted 1971 war helicopter to Bangladesh, and as a return gift, Bangladesh gifted us F-86 Sabra aircraft. You need not to know much more than this. For this news, this much is enough. Now, who is the Chief of Air Force? He is RKS Bhadauria. Please note that this year, that means 2021, is being celebrated as 50 years of India-Bangladesh relationship. Bangladesh became a separate country after India's victory over Pakistan in 1971 war. Next is Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. Recently, the scheme was in news because the deadline for the scheme has been extended. This is a scheme for direct tax. That means if you have any dispute related to direct tax, then you can use this scheme for that dispute resolution. Next is Jamal Khashoggi. Actually, he was from Saudi Arabia. Now, recently he was in news because as per USA, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia was involved in his murder, and that is why sanctions were imposed on certain personalities which were involved in the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. So first thing first, he was associated to Saudi Arabia and he was murdered in Turkey, in Istanbul. Please remember this term, Khashoggi ban. That means it is a ban imposed on those personalities which were involved in the murder of this Jamal Khashoggi. Recently, USA imposed these visa restrictions. Next is State of Terror. So this is going to be a new novel, and for this, Hillary Clinton collaborated with L. Penny. Next is Advantage India, the story of Indian tennis. So this is a book by Anindya Datta. Next is Road from Plastic Waste. So Tripura built a first of its kind road from plastic waste. Now this is not a first of its kind in India, but in Tripura it is first of its kind. That means the road has been built from the plastic waste after its recycling. Next is National Protein Day. So this was celebrated on 27th of February. Apart from that, 27th of February was also celebrated as World NGO Day. NGO stands for Non-Governmental Organization. Recently, NGO were in news because of FCRA. FCRA stands for Foreign Contribution Regulation. So this is an act through which NGO can get the foreign funding. That means in order to get the foreign funding, they need to register themselves as per the provisions of this FCRA. Answer in comment box which is the nodal ministry to implement this FCRA. Now get ready for the test. To make it little more interesting, from today onwards we have included some static questions as well. So good luck for your test and please write down your score in the comment box.
Thank you, and that's all for today.